Hey guys, welcome back to Witty's Gear Reviews. Real quick, I wanted to start off by saying I'm going to do an honest review, but let me get started with why. This light was a company called Tunenge, Tuneneg, sorry, Tuneneg reached out to me and asked me if I would like to review one of their flashlights. I said, not a problem. I don't have a problem doing that as long as I can do an honest review, which I'm going to do on this flashlight. First, we're going to talk about some specifics, and then I'll go into what I think. And hopefully you'll find this interesting or get some knowledge. So this is a Tunenge YC8001. It's a flat EDC flashlight. Go ahead and take this thing out of the box. We'll show you how it comes. Let's see. All right. Pull. Just a little, I guess, dimensions. Shows you the dimensions of the light. You got your instructions. USB-C cable. And it came upside down. And there's your light. Not a bad looking light. The coating feels real good. That's a nice deep carry pocket clip. I like the blue. That's actually blue. It's not like, you know, some stainless steel comes with that blue protector, scratch protection. It's a pretty good pocket clip. One LED. And then your user interface. Now, there's a lot of things I like about this light, and we'll go into that. But real quick, if you just look, that is a laser pointer. So you get a red laser pointer. I'm going to try not to point it at the screen. But there's a lot of lights out there. One comes into mind. The Artfeld does have a laser pointer. Here you have your 4 bars that's showing you how much battery life you have left. Turn the laser pointer off. Okay. Now some specifics on this light. Just on the shell alone. This shell has a aluminum alloy with a hard anodized coating. So the good thing about anodized coating is they're pretty scratch resistant. This light right now is in standby mode. All right, now it's off. It will go in a standby mode, which I still got to understand what exactly that means. There's a lot of info on this light. There's a lot that goes on with the user interface, especially when we get into some of the other features. But hard anodized coating, like I said, good for scratch resistant, a lot like the Artfeld. And several other lights out there, they have that hard anodized coating. And you can see this one's a satin finish. It's not gloss or anything like that. The belt clip's a little glossy, but the rest of the light is not. You have your little blue accents on the front there. This thing has a 1,000 milliamp hour polymer lithium battery. It's also, these things are drop tested to 1.5 meters. It's IP67 waterproof rated. The thing weighs about, they're saying 98 grams, so it's not super heavy. It's for a flashlight, and I've seen 2 different things on this. So in the instructions I have, it says 800 lumens. It might have a turbo mode because what I read online was 1,000 lumens. And they're boasting that it only takes an hour to charge this light. But we saw the laser. Here we're going to look at the flashlight. It's hard to see, but you've got your high, medium, low, then moonlight, You've got your SOS. Then you've got your strobe. It does have memory, so we were on strobe last, so it came back to strobe. Let's go to, we'll say low. Turn it off. It comes back to low. So it does have a memory. It is pretty bright for a small light. We're going to set it back to low, turn it off. But the interesting thing on this is, well, we'll get to that last. That is super bright. It's one click to get to your red. That button also has memory too, so if you're trying to read something at night and you don't want to lose your night vision, you have your red. You have your red flashing. That is a UV light. We can check that real quick against something that glows in the dark. Let's grab our beads here. And I can already tell you that's a pretty strong UV light, because those things are glowing in there. And they started glowing pretty quick. So you have the UV light. You have your kind of like an amber light, bright white, then back to solid red. Then red flashing. We're going to cycle through real quick. Let's go back to red. Press the hold. It goes off. Press the hold. It should come back to red. Let's change it and see how that works on something else. Right now we're on UV. Press and hold. Turns off. Press and hold. We're back on UV. So that button has memory as well. And that's just going through all the functions, and we'll turn it off there. Now, what makes this thing super interesting is the next thing that we have here. I thought it was kind of unique, and I was like, why would they put that on there? And then I got to thinking, it would be perfect for being out in the woods. Don't know how good it would work as a deterrent, but it might just work good enough. Or an urban setting. And what it has on here which is this button right here. And hold your ears. It's got an alarm. Or audible deterrent, whatever you want to call it. It is pretty loud. It hurts your ears. It's 120 decibels. It has 3 different settings. Just for sake of this video and saving everybody's ears, I am not going to go through all 3 settings. There is a protocol. Let's go ahead and turn this thing off of standby mode so we're not wasting battery. There is 3 settings that you could set those on, different tones. And it goes over everything in the owner's manual on how to get to your different things. Your charge time, your volts, length, width of your light, and then how to maneuver through all the settings. It's a cool flashlight, guys. I think there is a lot shoved in here. The user interface is fairly simple. Just press, and we were in moonlight mode, so it came back on that. Press it again. Press. Just keep pressing one click to go through the different settings for the light. You've got your laser, which you could use your laser and light at the same time. Which you can see it up there. And I would imagine, so you can use your light, your side light, and let's try, turn the laser back on. Laser's back on. Yep. And let's go to the last function. Okay. So everything you can use at the same time. And then it's one long press for each to turn them off. The alarm is press the hold, and it's up here on top. You just press that, sounds your alarm, you let go, and it shuts off. Urban environment, something to have in a bag, in a purse, waist pack, anything like that. If you needed to get somebody's attention, if you wanted to get somebody away from you, usually loud noises do that, because what happens? Everybody stops and looks. You do have that function. Still trying to figure out by decibels, and you guys out there, we don't have bears down here where I live in Texas. People with bears, would that 120 decibels just piss the bear off and probably get you eaten? Or do you think it would scare the bear off? Just curious. I know for some small animals like we have down here, raccoons, stuff like that, that sound would freak them out. They would take off. It freaked my dogs out. Instead of them barking, they went to the back of the living room. They don't like the sound. They don't know what it is. So I know that typically y'all have heard when you watch my videos, my dogs bark at somebody walking down the road, opening the mailbox, the Amazon guy coming to the door, mailman, school bus. They bark at everything. When I sounded that alarm, I watched them get up from in front of my office where they normally sit in front of the door, and they walked all the way to the other end of the living room. They didn't want nothing to do with it. Would it work, guys? I know there's bear horns and stuff like that. Is 120 decibels loud enough for that to be a good use of this flashlight other than just being a super loud personal alarm? Now, when we get into this light, one thing that I want to say right off the bat, nothing against this flashlight. This flashlight, you could tell by feeling it, holding it, going through the front functions with the user interface, all the different features, and just the build quality, man. It's got really good build quality. Now, saying all that, the one downfall, I think, is what's going to hurt this light from name brand lights out there on the market. It's going to come down to price. Right now, this thing is listed at $65.95. That is the, if this light was a sub $40 light, I think it would have no problem fighting in that weight class. 65, that might be a little too steep for a bunch. We are a budget channel. But if you want the alarm in it, then you kind of got to, if you have an alarm, carry a personal alarm or anything like that, then maybe take the price of a decent flashlight with an alarm, a separate alarm, put the price together, then would 65 be worth it for this flashlight. Where I think its first competitor comes in, which is another light with a laser, with the side lights, is the Wukos. I think once you add the Wukos in, and you're looking at the Wukos HD 100, which is also 1,000 lumens, a little bit smaller, a lot of the same functions. The user interface, in my opinion, is probably better on this, because you have the 3 separate buttons, right? You just look on that, it's got a little picture of a laser, light, your cob light, and then, of course, separate button and one thing, too, is all the features function at one time. I don't have any of the other lights, or another light that I'm about to mention, that I also think fits in this class. But when you look at the Wukos, you're looking at $27.99 for the green. Right? I'll leave a link in the description to everything I show on Amazon, so you know where to find any of it in case you're curious, you want to test them out yourself. So the only other competition, that I think this light will have is something that a lot of people already want, or already have, which is your Olight arc feld. So if you're looking on Amazon right now at the arc feld in black, 1,000 lumens, with the laser pointer, you're looking at $62.99. So that would probably have some competition with this light. That would, a lot of people that are in this price range most likely will buy the Olight Artfeld because there's so much out there about that light. A lot of people have used it. A lot of people love it. Some people don't like the user interface on the light. Some people love it. Again, it's all preference. But if you're looking for something with a personal alarm, this light has it. If you're looking for quick and easy interface, this light has it. Simple long press, your laser's on. Right? Long press again, it goes off. Long press, you got your light cycle through. There's your SOS, your strobe. Back to whatever light you want it on. Long press, it turns off. Then you have your side lights. Same thing. Cycles through. Long press, it's off. Press again, we're back on red. It does have a lot of functions packed in here. I was able to change the settings. So you have 3 settings on the audible alarm or alert, whatever you want to call it. You have a high-pitched sound, you have a lower-pitched sound, and then you have I wouldn't really call it a wail, but you'll hear it. Right? So you have that. And this is where it kind of gets tricky in figuring out how this works. So we'll take it off of standby mode. Right? So you press and hold the side button. Your lights light up. Double click the cob light. Now your light's going to blink. And then you click it again and you can select 1, 2, 3, back to 1. We're going to select 2, and it's just by what light's lighting up there. So that's the number 2 light in the sequence. Double click again, goes into standby mode, and sounds like a high-pitched Nokia cell phone back in the day. But that's your alarm modes. And now everything's off. What do you think, guys? I mean, oh, one thing I forgot to point out, that is a magnet. We'll just hook it to something here. Got a pair of scissors. Alright, so it doesn't hold on its own weight sideways like that. It does hold that way, but it's not going to take much to make it fall off. So basically more designed to hook to the top of something and hang off its own weight, which we'll try that. All right. So it'll do it like that. Because it's so long, it's long. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the magnet. We'll go over the lumens real quick because this is a part that's confusing and I wanted to show y'all, and I haven't figured out what the difference is. So hopefully when Tunenge reaches out about this light, I could kind of tell them what I saw here, and maybe they could answer some questions that I can't answer for you. Let me find out where I read it at in this instruction manual. Okay, like I was saying, in the instructions right here, it says 1,000 lumen max output. And, of course, 35-hour longest runtime. Now, when we go to where it talks about runtimes and brightness levels, here it shows high 800 lumens. And that's what I read doing the research online, is I've seen both 800 and 1,000. I've double-clicked the light, I've triple-clicked the light, and if it does have a turbo mode, I haven't seen anything in these instructions on how to get there. So keep that in mind, guys, but basically your output: eco mode 5 lumens, low 100, medium 400, high 800. You know what? The strobe may be the 1,000, because the strobe is super bright. So maybe the brightest output is the strobe. Your runtime on 5 lumens, 35 hours, low 4.2, 1.3, 1 hour on 800 lumens, 1.5 hours on strobe. Then you have your side modes, of course, which is your yellow light, 142 lumens, white light, 185, red light, 22 lumens, but man, it seems so much brighter than that. Then you've got your flashing, red light, and your UV light. And then your run times for that. Laser light run time, 15.3 hours. Main light beam distance, 200 meters. Drop resistant, we talked about that earlier, 1.5. And IP67 rated. And if y'all are seeing the dirt on my fingers, I was airing up my tires on my truck right before this video. And I work with a byproduct of crude oil, and it was all over my tires. I washed my hands, but I really got to scrub them to get it off. So I apologize for the dirty fingers, but that's what happens when you got to work for a living sometimes. But that's what we got here, guys. All in all, final thoughts. You're coming in at $27.99 for the Wukos. But it has a lot of fancy, different colors, rainbows, all that stuff. Is any of that really necessary? Probably not. There's a lot jam-packed in here, but you have to use these two buttons to get to everything. That being said, it's a bunch of triple clicking, double clicking, trying to figure out what button does what. I guess in time, if you figure the light out, you figure the light out. It's a little... The user interface on this light isn't as good. I do not own the Arcfeld, so I can't tell you how that user interface is. But now I do own this. And I could say that it's pretty straightforward with the three buttons, right? Cycle through, that gives you everything on your light. Click once, hold, laser comes on. Click, hold again, laser goes off. Long press, cob light comes on. Press each time, cycles through all the modes. Long press again, it goes off. Side press, alarm comes on. Release the side button, alarm goes off. So you actually have the user interface here and the alarm button on the side. I kind of do like the fact that everything is separated. Some people say they hate all the amount of clickings and click 4 times, click 2 times, click 1 time to get through your features. This light, if you want just the flashlight to come on, put it on the setting that you like the best, which we're going to go low. I would rather my light come on low. Press and hold, it's off. Press one more time. Sorry, long press, and we're back on low. Right? And then I could cycle if I want it brighter. Same with the cob light. We want it on red. If I want my light to come on, if I need a red light at night and I press that button, its memory is going to bring me back on red so I can use it for night vision. If I prefer to have one of the other functions like the SOS. If I'm going out walking through the woods and I'm like, hey, look, if something happens, I want to be able to hit my flashing lights, then that would be the mode that you turn it off on and it's going to keep the memory. Anyways, guys, that's it on the tunage. It doesn't really have a name other than the YC8001. So what you get, like I said, coming in at $65.95. I will leave a link in the description. I'll also leave a link to this and a link to the Arcfeld, which is on sale right now for $62.99. So you could kind of look at the features between the three lights and make your best decision if you're in the market to purchase a light, which one works the best for you. The, I guess, longevity of this light, I haven't seen enough of them for anybody to say I've had it for 5 years. It's great. It may be fairly new. I'm not sure. Don't know a lot about the company, but I do know they sent me the light. It is a quality light. It does have a lot of features. I really like the light. It's going to make it into one of my bags. I think it's easy enough to use. It's just a matter of, is it $65.95 worth? They do go on sale, so if they drop down, have a 20% clickable coupon, 30%, you get them on Amazon Week or whatever like that, that might be something that you add to your cart and you check it occasionally to see if it's went on sale. It is a good light. I like it. The alarm, me personally, I guess it's one of those things that if I needed it, I would be so happy I had it. For whatever that purpose would be. But to each their own. It's up to you. Let me know your comments. What do you think about the features? What do you think about the user interface? What do you think about the personal alarm? Color, size, price? Let me know. Anyways, guys, still 3 ways to support the channel. You got your Witty's gear, buy me a coffee, memberships. But do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, click all those notifications, give us a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm, keeps us relevant. Also, leave a comment. Comments really help. Leave a comment. If you don't like it, tell me you don't like it. Tell me why. I don't advocate for this light. They're not paying me for anything. I don't have an affiliate. If you buy one, I don't get any kickbacks. They sent it to me, asked me to do an honest review, and I think I've done that. There's a place for this light. It's just not one of those lights that everybody's going to find a place for. Anyways, guys, love y'all. See you on the next one.